Okay, first thing I'm going to do is review all our continents and our oceans. So,
Asia, Australia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Southern Ocean, Pacific Ocean.
very good. I'm sorry, I always do that, don't I? Antarctica. Do not forget Antarctica. That is one of the continents. Excuse me, let's not blurt out though. Let's raise your hands, okay guys? Alright, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to look. Yesterday they were telling me to ask you what the four corner states were, and you guys really had a difficult time, and probably because they're not actually showing the individual states. We really probably should have had this out, but they didn't tell me to get this out today. Today we're going to talk about the 5 regions of the United States. Now who can tell me what this state was in this top corner? I told you yesterday, what's the top corner state? Okay, if nobody can tell me, then it means you guys really weren't paying much attention. Adam, what do you think?
Florida.
Nobody. Everybody knows what Florida looks like, don't they?
No.
No?
New York. Washington.
Oh.
Nevada.
No, wrong
Nevada?
corner. Wrong corner.
Nevada. Asia.
Zeke, Asia is actually a continent, honey. It's not a state in the United States at all.
Nevada.
Ben,
Maine.
Maine, guys. This one's Maine. What is this one?
Florida.
Florida. See, so many people go to Florida for vacation. Usually people know Florida has this unique shape. You don't
I did.
know? Okay. Well, this
Texas
one's
kind of
Florida.
looks like the shape of America.
Okay, let's not talk about Texas, please. We'll talk about Texas eventually. Okay, what is this one over here? Washington. And this one? California. So let's do the 4 corners.
Maine,
Florida,
Washington, California.
All right, now we're going to talk about the regions. Whoops, I'm showing you the wrong side. There are 5 regions we're going to divide up, and we will be learning all the states in each region so that by the end of this year, we will know all 50 states. All right, so this is the Northeast region. This is the Southeast. We call this the Midwest. This is the Southwest, and we're going to call this the West. Notice they included Hawaii and Alaska in with the West. And this is what I was telling you about. Do you guys see Alaska here? And look at Texas. When you see it like this, which one looks better? Bigger.
Texas.
Yeah, when you see it like this one, Texas looks bigger, but that's not the case at all. Okay? If you look at it here, you can see how much bigger that it really is, because Texas is just about right here. It's hard to tell. Once I get my other map, I can pull it down. You will definitely be able to tell that Alaska is the biggest state of all. All right, let's read in our book, starting with John Smith. Notice I added to our timeline. Well, I don't think you can see the timeline. All right, so the timeline, we had Christopher Columbus in 1492, and now in the 1600s, it's actually going to be 1607, we're moving on to John Smith and Jamestown. All right, and whoever's humming needs to stop. Everybody get up your eyes on your books and pay attention. And do not be taking those masks off. You know better than that. All right, John Smith, 1580 to 1631. Men hope to find riches in the New World. So Christopher Columbus has made people braver, and they're wanting to start explore. They're wanting to get rich. France, Spain, Portugal, and now England is wanting to get on the action. They're wanting to find new places where they possibly can make their kings and queens of their countries rich. What then?
How did they know if he discovered North America and South America?
Okay, they did not know. They just knew he discovered a new world and they wanted to go explore there. Okay, that was found out later. But they knew that he discovered a new world. I don't know which person actually realized that he didn't get to the Indies. I don't know what point in time they actually figured that out. But because Christopher Columbus got brave enough to sail this way, other people started getting brave enough to come this way, and they started settling the land over here. Over 100 years had passed since Christopher Columbus discovered the New World. people still hoped that his dreams of finding a better way to the Indies would come true. Somewhere around the New World, some thought, there must be a South Sea passage to the East Indies. Others thought, if the New World is near the East Indies, then it too must be rich in gold and pearls. So they must have already realized that it wasn't Indies, and they are just wanting to go that way anyway because they want to get rich. Adam, I told you page 17. I've also told you that I do not want you looking around through your book at other things when I'm trying to teach you something, okay? Now let's turn to page 18 because I already finished reading page 17. Because people thought the islands that Columbus discovered were near the East Indies, they called the New World the West Indies. Now here's the East Indies. Is where he found anywhere near that? No, it's not. But they still named it the West Indies. Of course, the New World was not even near India, but was instead the continents of North and South America. Only parts of these continents would have some gold and a few pearls. But the people who lived in 1600 had yet to discover these things for themselves. In 1606, King James I of England became interested in starting an English colony in the New World. Spain and France had already begun colonies there. These colonies had made their kings rich. Why should the King of England let Spain and France have all the riches of the New World? English ships sailed for the New World. In December of 1606, 3 small English ships began their journey to the New World. The Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery began sailing toward a place known as Virginia. All right, so the state of Virginia, we know today the state of Virginia, which is right here. Are you going to look? If I'm trying to show you something, you should be looking. This is the state of Virginia. It wasn't part of the United States yet, but it was still called Virginia already. On board all 3 ships were a total of about 100 adventurers who hoped to find great riches in gold. Nearly 50 of these men were known as gentlemen. Gentlemen were men from wealthy families. Because of their wealth, they could afford to have servants do most of their work for them. The New World was a place for hard-working men. There were trees to be chopped and houses to be built. If the men wanted food, there were animals to hunt and gardens to plant. Why then did these gentlemen come to America? They had heard America was a land of great wealth. They imagined themselves strolling along the shores, picking up gold nuggets by the bagful. For these wealthy adventurers, America was a place to find even greater wealth. All right, so when we think of the word gentleman, we think of someone who's very polite, don't we?
Yes.
But back in this day, a gentleman was a very wealthy person who didn't even have to work. Many of them did not even dress themselves. They would have somebody help them put on their clothes. Yes, that's how wealthy they were. They were very, very spoiled. And they thought that they were going to come to this new world and stroll down the beach with a bag and just pick up gold nuggets off the beach and put them in their bag. But was that going to happen? No. There wasn't going to be a place to live. There weren't going to be grocery stores to buy groceries. They were going to have to work hard. Were these men used to working hard?
Nope.
No, they weren't. All right, let's go before we turn the page. Let's look at the important words. Go back to page 18 and look at the important words and let's read them and their definitions. Colony, a group of people ruled by their own country who settled in another land, a settlement. All right, so a colony or a settlement is basically the same thing. So in this case, it was an English settlement because the King of England had sent people over to settle in the New World in Virginia. All right, next word, gentleman. Englishmen from wealthy families. Colonist, a person who has settled in a colony. So if you went to a colony, you were a colonist. Malaria, that is malaria. Let's say that again. Malaria, a disease carried by mosquitoes. starving time. Read them with me, please. Starving time. The terrible winter when many colonists starved. Now let's read the important names. King James I, King of England, who wanted to form a colony in America. Powhatan. No, Powhatan. We're going to say Powhatan. Powhatan, the chief leader of many Indian tribes surrounding Jamestown, father of Pocahontas. We're on page 18. The next one is Pocahontas, the Indian princess who is said to have saved John Smith's life and helped to save Jamestown. Now I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Disney movie of Pocahontas, which is taking this story and twisting it up and making it a little bit fanciful. But Pocahontas was a real person. John Smith was a real person. All right, now go to the next page where you see important places. You need to turn around and face your book and pay attention. We're at the bottom of page 19, important places. Read them with me. East Indies, India, and part of Asia. And they show it in orange. You see where it says the East Indies in that map on your book? See that? Then West Indies, the islands that Columbus discovered. So go over underneath the United States on your little map and you'll see where they named it the West Indies. New World, the American continent. So that would be North America and South America. Jamestown, the first successful English settlement in the New World. And so, like I told you, it was Virginia. So Jamestown would have been right here along the coast somewhere of Virginia. And it is a place you can go to today, and you can see some replica ships of the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery. They've remade them, and you can actually go on them and see what they were like on the inside. And you would see how crowded they were for that many people to be on them. And you can actually see the little town of Jamestown and the fort. They rebuilt the fort, and you can go around and see people making things and cooking things just like they would have back then. Go ahead and turn the page. Page 20. The King's orders. Captain Newport, captain of the Susan Constant, was in charge of all 3 ships. Just before he sailed, the King's messenger gave him a small sealed wooden box. The King gave orders that the box was to be opened the first night after landing in Virginia. As the 3 ships traveled, the time went slowly. Weeks turned into months. Being tossed about by waves in a small ship was not fun. An argument. One day, Captain Newport heard loud arguing aboard the Susan Constant. He hurried to see what the trouble was. In the center of the ring of angry men, he found an even angrier man named John Smith, a soldier with red hair and a fiery temper. When the men saw Captain Newport, they accused John Smith of trying to cause trouble. Even though John Smith said it was not true, Captain Newport ordered him to be taken below deck and put in chains. Now you've got to understand this. John Smith was a soldier. So are soldiers hard workers?
Yes.
These gentlemen were spoiled, wealthy men who were not used to working. So can you imagine where the argument started?
Yep.
These men not wanting to work and John Smith wanting everybody to do their share. But who got put in chains?
Yeah,
John Smith. Virginia at last. January, February, and March. Remember they started in what month? No, didn't they start in December and that will be read? Yes, December of 1606. So it was started in December and now it's January, February, March. Didn't they take longer than Christopher Columbus did to get across? Yeah, because there was only a couple of months. This has taken even longer for them to get across for some reason. January, February, and March passed slowly aboard the 3 small ships. On April, so it went all the way to April. They started in December, January, February, March, and it wasn't until April, that's 4 months later. On April 27th, 1607, the cry of land, land was heard. That night, all the passengers gathered around Captain Newport, all but one, that is, John Smith, was still in chains below the ship's deck. All right, we're going to read a little bit more on page 21. So your eyes should be going to page 21 now. We'll read a little bit more on that page until it gets to where it says Jamestown is built. That's where we'll stop. Captain Newport was holding the sealed wooden box that contained King James I's instructions for the new colony. Every man listened carefully as Captain Newport read 7 names. They were the names of the people who were to lead the colony. Captain Newport's name was first on the list. One by one, he read the rest of the names. Before he read the last name on the list, Captain Newport paused. Then he read Captain John Smith. So even the king knew that Captain John Smith was a good one to be a leader in the colony of Jamestown. And that's where we'll stop today.